Good evening, lords and ladies. We're going live with a brand new deck. I haven't had time to playtest this, but I've had an idea of something that I want to do. Because I've had a problem with some of these foundation cards. And it's not necessarily that they are poorly designed cards, but they are kind of done on the cheap. And by that I mean this card, Mild-Mannered Librarian, you can turn into Werewolf. And what we've become used to is all of these double face cards. They learned how to use them quite a while ago. And so we've got a certain amount of, with Strixhaven and Kaldheim and Ixalan, and there was a time where they were using them every single set. Now there's a cost to that. It costs extra money for them to give us double face cards. So when they released Foundations, they released a couple of these cards, and none of them were double faced, which tells me we'll just use that now. None of them got the double face treatment. They made Foundations a little bit on the cheap side. So I put together a deck that has these cards and some other problems I've had with Foundations, like they reprinted Snakeskin Veil for the umpteenth time, and they really didn't need to, because it's already in the environment. And it was going to be in the environment for a while. And so this is just a duplicate card for no reason. It takes up space. They could have just foregone it entirely. They could have done something else in its place. It was up to them. But, a mana sink to go ahead and give you a draw and pump this up, that's not a poorly designed card. And now, for the online effect, instead of getting a neat secondary art to see a real werewolf, we still see the original creature. We see the original human in the foreground, and we still get just the shadow of a werewolf in the background. And instead of just saying human, it's highlighted blue and it says werewolf. And that's it. Actually, I think they have a tactic, right? They have a combat trick. But this is combat damage to a player. So we'll make them spend it now. That's fine. Here's the next one. Vampire Nighthawk. This is based on an entirely different card. If I remember right, the toughness was dependent on the party mechanic. You got an increase. No, I think it was based on the number of creatures in your opponent's graveyard for either the power or toughness. I'd have to go look it up now. But they made this simplified, right? Instead of an asterisk on one of these two features, they changed the art. They made it a simpler card. They reduced the complexity, even though it's at the uncommon level, because they gave it 3 entire mechanics, and that's a little too complicated to just have it common. So they're still trying to play by 6th edition rules, or New World Order rules, I guess you should call it. Why is that staying? Like it's permanently on the stack. Something's broke with Arena right now. Alright, we'll bring down yet another Mild-Mannered Librarian. This is getting us to our land draws. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to attack. I do have one Snakeskin Veil in reserve to just give me hexproof if they want to target something with removal. And the nice thing is, because I've been able to draw a couple times with the Librarians, I can now pay for the full Affectionate Indrik and still have a Snakeskin Veil in reserve. We wait for them to decide what they're going to do, and it's just another creature. We're okay with that. And that means they're probably not going to attack. This is perfect. They might have a way to protect against this. We'll see. They can hold up priority. We're just going to get rid of their new creature here, so they don't get a +1 everything. Can you protect it? Can you pump it up? Destroy? No! That's why we have the card. It's not a bad card, even though it's overused. Yes, we want to fight the creature. And now we have almost all of the creatures that I did not like. All the cards I didn't like. We've got the Mild-Mannered Librarian, we got Vampire Nighthawk, and we've used Snakeskin Veil. There's only one other card in the deck. We'll see if it comes out this match, this opening match. If not, I'll just point it out in the deck tech. But so what I did is I made a Foundations card set, a deck, only from that set, and I made sure to put in all the cards that I thought I didn't like the way they treated it. They've got to attack, right? They were tapped out, but yeah, they feel like they have to. They don't have any spare mana. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. We'll just leave them with tokens. Kind of a big hit overall, since they went wide. We just got a third Mild-Mannered Librarian. Let's use it. Ooh, that's kind of lovely. And we'll go get some health back. I would like to build up these stations at some point. Ooh, 6/6. But you don't have haste. This is the last one, Infernal Vessel. When the creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, you return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. But again, in the same way they did with Mild-Mannered Librarian, we don't get a token. Like, this is based on an older card. In the older card, they would give you a different card, an actual demon art that comes back onto the battlefield. Here, it's the exact same card art that comes back. Nothing changes except this demon in the shadow background is still just going to be there. But it gets to be a demon. What do we want to do with any of this? Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And thanks. I think we're just going to go ahead and fight with the Vampire Nighthawk, or come on. Come on. I think we'll just take these out, right? I know I don't have to do it this way, but this lets me go get another creature. Ooh, it's another Spinner of Souls. That's nice. I'll go get some health back. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to pump one of these up. They're not going to attack. If they don't have a way to pump these up, they're not going to run them into my creatures. So I can afford to start getting my planet up. I don't know that I actually need it at this point. But this will be kind of cool. That is kind of sweet. Oh, I like that. I've got another planet here, right? Yeah, there. 4 creatures. They're all 1/1s. They're still going wide. I wonder if they have yet another instant. Gonna give everything +2 or something. That's a good card. Okay, so now Add for each creature we control. Boom. We bring this down. And we're going to pay X. Yes, we're going to take action. How much can we do? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 9. Auto pay. 11/11 creature. That's nice. And then I think because they might have an instant, we do need to guard against this. They could pump everybody up to be +2. And why does the stack cards not disappear? That's just gravy. We could surveil. Let's just do this. What do we got coming up? Let's do this first. I guess I don't mind getting those cards. And then where's my other planet? I'm kind of tempting them to attack. Like if they could get a +2, that's like 24 points of damage or something. What do we do? What do we do? I think target creature fights. Let's kill our infernal vessel. Get a couple of triggers. Bring this back as a demon. Take action, get another creature. Oh, these are lovely. We're getting almost every creature that I don't like, just in terms of the card art and the way they designed it. Do we have to go to combat? Yes, we do. Are they going to stay or are they going to go? Let's see. We'll just do 15. And I feel like it's safe to attack now. Should be exactly lethal if I did my math right. Block the 4/3, please. Well, they could have made it exactly lethal, but they're down 1. That's okay. That we got almost all of the creatures, multiple copies of the exact ones that I didn't like. So that's not bad for the first outing. I didn't play test this at all. That was the first run. I call this the worst deck ever. Tongue-in-cheek. I've had some problems with the way they did Foundations, partly because I immediately recognized when I was looking at the card art that this should have been a double-faced card. This should have been a double-faced card. And this, they simplified it when they didn't have to, because it was still an uncommon card. And they didn't need to make it the party mechanic necessarily. They could have still tweaked it, but had it be something similar, and they didn't. And I resent the simplicity, because they have done the exact opposite of everything else for the last couple of years. They've been increasing the complexity of the game. They've been adding in more mechanics, sprinkling extra mechanics in throughout different places, different special venues. They've been adding in things they've never done before in terms of power level, like adding in doubling season in with planeswalkers, which used to be a no-no. They're making legendary 2-drops, which they didn't used to make because they thought that was overpowering. They're just doing all sorts of things that are more complex and more power and that kind of thing. And so, why in the world, after you've been doing that for years, why would you make foundations and actually simplify a card like that? So it's a little bit of a pet peeve. And then, of course, I had to include Snakeskin Veil because, I mean, if we could include, if we didn't have a limit of 4, if we had a limit to like 4 from each expansion, I think we could have like 12 Snakeskin Veils if we felt like. The rest of this is just to stay in with foundations, to round it out, to make what I thought might make a reasonably good deck. We do have specialty lands in here. I got a Hidden Necropolis. I got 2 Avenda Waking Havens, so we can add a green for each creature we control. I'm counting on my creatures sticking around. I've got a Mana Sink with Quiche Village, and that has a little bit of synergy with Spinner of Souls. This is a 3-drop Spider Spirit, and we'll see if there's some nice spider synergy with the Omen Pass. You control dies. You may reveal cards from the top of your library until your card. You get that card into your hand. Everything else goes to the bottom in a random order. So automatically, you're just going to get a creature. It's going to dig through your deck until it finds a creature you can put in your hand. And if I surveil and I see something I like in the top couple of cards, maybe I got like extra lands and I don't care about those anyway, and I just go ahead and get rid of those. But a creature that I really like, maybe it's time to engineer losing a creature strategically, which is not hard to do in this game. Restless Cottage, 2 copies of that, so I can turn into a 4/4 black and green horror creature. And then whenever I attack, I get to exile a target card from a graveyard, and you get a food that gains you 3 life. So I got a little bit of life gain out of this, and this is really my graveyard hate card in case I come up against a reanimation deck. And 1 demolition field as always. For the rest of the stuff, I've got 4 bushwhack. I'll get a basic land if I need it. I don't have a lot of basic lands actually. I've got 1 forest and 1 swamp. So, and I don't have a forest or a swamp, I can go get one. We just used, I think, 3 or 4 variants. So it becomes a werewolf, you get +2, and you draw a card. It's good value, but I kind of like the way this is designed. My natural instinct with kicker cards is to try and get maximum value, and that's really the opposite of how you should play this game, because so if you've got a card and you can play it and you've got enough energy, you should use it even though you can't spend that kicker cost. A lot of times, most of the time. And I've had to break that habit. I've become a better Magic player because I realized you should play the earlier, cheaper costs sooner, and you tend to win more matches. That's just the way it works out with the way this game works. So this game, there's no choice, right? In order to put it down, it's 1 green mana. Now, you might lose the card if they don't want you to get the extra value out of it, but as soon as you do have enough energy, then you get the energy value to the ability to activate the extra value. Most of the time, I'd say you tend, unless you're facing black that just does like, they have like overloaded their deck on removal cards, they might be willing to get rid of this right away. But a lot of other times, it hangs around. You just don't block with it or attack with it. Snakeskin Veil is a good card. It's a well-designed card. For some reason, Magic the Gathering designers have decided this always has to be there, like some core ability of green. Part of it's a counter thing, and a lot of the staff on board, they love counters, including the head developer. But it's just been overused so much. They could have not included this in Snakes. They could not have included this in Foundations. It's guaranteed Foundations is going to be around for at least 5 years, possibly longer. And we would have still, because they probably would have reprinted it anyway in one of the next 2 or 3 sets, at least a variation of it. This is why we don't get larger spells. This is why the bigger spells get crowded out. They have a design skeleton, and in that design skeleton, they have sort of slots for how many creatures they tend to have for color, how many instants and sorcerers they have for each color, and this has taken up a slot. I guarantee you it took up a slot. It was on their design skeleton. And there was probably a nice like 7 or 8 drop spell, and we don't get it because a spot for Snakeskin Veil. It's a waste. It's terrible. I hate it. Wildborn Preserver. I kind of like this card. Elf Archer. So the elf is kind of tiny on there, but it's supposed to be the elf that is the creature itself. He's just writing some extra. Whenever another non-human creature enters, You may pay X. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on this creature. So you can pump this one up quite a bit. And I do have some humans, right, that they start out as humans. And the rest of the stuff, Vampire Shaman, Ambush Wolf, the spiders, the dinosaurs, the beast, Elf Warlock, everything else is a non-human. Infernal Vessel, like I said, this is based on an earlier card. When the creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, it becomes a demon. You return it straight to the battlefield, gets 2 counters on it. I think the cheapo on this. They could have, I mean, maybe they could have included 1 or 2 fewer cards in the set. Like maybe leave out Snakeskin Veil and afford the second piece of artwork for Infernal Vessel. Same with Mild Mannered Librarian. It bothers me because we got such good quality, right? When they came out with Innistrad, and then here on Arena, we returned it to Innistrad. We got transformation cards. We got these multimodal cards. We got a bunch of double face cards. They spent some resources to do that within the company, but per card it works out to on like a level of a couple of cents, right? So when you spread it out, the cost can be absorbed, and it's worth it. And it gave us some really nice cards. Whether you're talking about their lands on one side that turn into an artifact or a legendary land on the other, or a different planeswalker, or one legendary creature, a different. Call Time had like the associated legendary creature and a legendary equipment that was associated with that particular creature on the backside. Lots of good stuff. We got used to that, right? It's premium stuff. It's good design. It's not only good design, it was good art. So once you're used to that level of quality and you know the company that can put out that level of quality, it really irritates you when they go cheap all of a sudden for no reason. They did not need to go cheap. Magic is pulling in the lion's share of money for parent company Hasbro now. Okay? They have the resources to give us high quality. This single card it's not a good match for the way they designed the card. The game has changed. You introduced new technology. It's okay to use that new technology if it costs you a couple extra bucks, when the people that are used to playing your game are going to be this irritated at you for being a cheapskate. There was no reason to do that. Burns me up. Okay, I'm going to try and get off of that and not mention it again. A little bit of removal, 1 Tribute to Hunger, makes a target opponent sacrifice a creature of their choice. 1 Hero's Downfall, this also targets a Planeswalker, so I made sure to include that option. Vampire Nighthawk is still a good designed card, right? Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. It's a great source of lifelink for the deck, and if they come at you with flyers, you got a good chump blocker. You're not going to really mourn losing a 2/3 that much. Ambush Wolf. Flash. When it enters, exile to 1 target card from a graveyard, so this is my, besides the 2 Restless Cottage, 1 other additional chance to get a graveyard hate card in case that's the type of deck we're coming up against. If they come up against us with a all-flying deck, we've got 4 copies of Broken Wings to take out their flyers. Or if they do like an all-artifact or enchantment tribal deck, we've got some answers. 1 Felling Blow to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature controlled and have it deal damage. So a kind of creature removal card, because they do have a lot of creatures. The Splinter Souls we went over, it has reach. 1 more removal with Maelstrom Pulse, destroys target non-land permanent and all other permanents. So if we come up with against a bunny deck, we can just get rid of all the tokens maybe, or all the initial bunnies. Wardens of the Cycle. 3/4 Elf Warlock, has Morbid at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died during the turn, you can gain 2 life yourself, or you draw a card and lose 1 life. We usually tend to draw the card. Card draw. Affectionate Indrik, much reprinted card. 4/4 Beast, when it enters, you may have it fight a target you don't control. So I think if you include those, this is kind of removal, the Tribute to Hunger, the Hero's Downfall, and the Maelstrom Pulse, and then you include Affectionate Indrik, we're up to about 9 removal cards, and then if you're up against using this against creatures and it's all flyers, it's 13. So between 9 to 13 removal cards. And my 1 fun card, because I expect to keep a lot of my creatures out on the field, Ghalta, Primal Hunger, Elder Dinosaurs, Legendary 12/12. It costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. with things where we can pump up things like the Wildborn Preserver to like a 5/5 or a 10/10, and we can protect it maybe with a Snakeskin Veil so they don't remove it. This is going to be a very cheap spell later on. That's the deck. So I don't mean to say that this is a bad deck. It performed well already. And using the cards that I complained about specifically, those are the ones that showed up with the most frequency. Oh, hang on. The one thing I didn't do is I didn't show you the average converted mana value of the deck. And so let's go in real quick, just because I was curious. I made this. I haven't checked that part out myself yet, so I want to look into that. What did we end up with? Average 2.7 mana cost, so just about average. And we ended up with 20 creatures. Add for a creature deck. A little on the low side. Not too bad. So my instincts are pretty good. I've been making, you know, since I came on board the arena here, I've been back for 5 years. Deck building skills are not bad at this point. The one thing that I am willing to sacrifice is I did include a ton of tapped lands. And they've got 2 Restless Reefs already. Gross. These could be a problem against me later. Oh no, they're gonna mill me. Gross. We're gonna mill 2 cards. Let's get rid of that. I kind of wish they had spent their energy on something else in the meantime. Oh, they don't activate it. I think they could have, right? It's not something that you have to activate as a sorcery. And it's an artifact, so it doesn't have. They have 3 Restless Reefs. Great. I only have 1 Demolition Land. Let's bring out Spinner Souls. It's as good a chump blocker as anything. They might have counterspells as well as removal. Yeah. 3 steps ahead. Very common counterspell. That way I don't have a chance to put a Snakeskin Veil on it if I can't get it down in the first place. And now they don't need to spell. They can just attack with Restless Reef. And if they're a mill deck like this and they have 3 more of the River Churns, this could very well be a big mill deck. They're foregoing the initial hits to try and build up their own deck. It's fine, right? Let's put this down. Let's put this down. Since they're tapped out, we can put out our final creature. And I have 2 Snakeskin Veils, so if they've got 2 removals that they want to spend, we can still save our Nighthawk. But I might have to use it as a chump block if they want to just swing a Restless Reef in. And they already get a River Churn. Let's go ahead and get this value in now. Don't have 13. I guess we're attacking. I need the life, right? Anytime they... What the heck? -3, -3. Okay. This... They get around the hexproof with this, so that's a good enchantment to use against me, but this will still pump me up to a 3/4, so it won't die. Oh, hello. They had a Spell Pierce. Arena wants me to lose the game. They gave this guy everything they need. I had 7 lands. They only had a couple. And they got me already. I should keep this as a chump blocker. But I do have Restless Cottage. Long goodbye. Snakeskin Veil won't stop that because, again, they have nowhere to run. My Snakeskin Veil is now completely irrelevant. I used one and it was already countered. This needs to be on the battlefield and die before it comes back. Cheap removal spells. Not even bothering to use their land. And all I get... That's a good card. They would mill that, so... Does me no good. And they're just going to mill me to death. That was what I needed. I needed the broken wings. And I lost the second one. I got 2 more in the deck. Well, how much you want to bet Arena magically make sure that that I lose those? Alright, let's see if they try and block us with a creature. Let's get rid of this in case they have a way to return artifacts. And I'm just hoping they don't have another removal spell. And again, Snakeskin Veil can't stop that. So we lost our land creature. I guess I can scry again. Yeah, I guess I don't really care if they mill that or not. They think I want to keep it because I kept it on top, but I know this is them, so I drew a lot of land. I mean, they are too, kind of. 3, 6, they're at 8, and I was at 9. They're just not attacking me. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Hopefully they don't have another counterspell handy. Of course they do. They have exactly what they need. They haven't even used a lot of the cards yet. They got half the spells. Let's see what else we can get out of the deck. I'm gonna use up all my land. A bushwhack! Yeah. Let's go search for a basic land. That was useful. Hang on. Arena is just making sure that I get guard. I sacrificed a land to spend a spell to go get a land. And look, because of the way I went and got the land, it just so happens that they were able to mill the 3rd broken wings. So I can't get rid of this. And I'm all tapped out, so they know it's safe to attack me now. There's the last broken wings. I have nothing to take out enchantments now in the rest of the deck. This is no good as a sorcery. Snakeskin Veil is completely useless. And my demolition land still hasn't come up anywhere, right? They didn't mill that away. Yeah, no demolition land. So I could take care of one of the 3 of the rest of the reefs. So this is what Arena does, right? The first match you make with a new deck, you win, and then you're done. Oh, they're just taking their own sweet time. They're torturing me. Another land. Well, I'm not going to die. They're going to get me on health points. That's for sure. What are we at? 25. So they should be able to exhaust this now. And that would just cost 4. I think they can win anytime they want now. And really, how many cards did they use? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They beat me basically using 9 spells. How many were the same? How many are different? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unique spells, 6, 7 unique spells, and 1 duplicate. So we see most of their deck, right? If we assume that the rest of their deck is just duplicate copies of those spells. Which, it's been a while since I put together a mill deck. I haven't used that artifact yet, so I'll get around to that at some point. But yeah, a mill deck that mills my only way. It milled 3 cards. The other 3 cards, the only 3 cards in my entire deck that could have done that. This is what happened when the Rogues milling deck was out a few years back. So frustrating because you had answers and they just got rid of your answers every time. And you're like, that's the reason that card's in the deck. Man, did I draw a lot of lands though that hand. Got a healthy assortment of lands to begin with here too. Black and red, many different ways to destroy my lovely creatures. Ouch. What the heck? Wow. Three spells on turn 3. That is a cheap deck. The other goblins have haste. Oh, does that create a goblin every single turn? Let's bring down Spinner Souls. And let's see what else we got coming up. Yeah, we'll take another one of those. We're on defense. We want to get rid of this before they get 6 lands. Oh, it's got mobilize 1. Alright, we'll take a couple of points of damage here. We'll see what other spells they have. If they want to save something, perhaps? If they can. What you thinking about? They could sacrifice something, right? I guess they could sacrifice enough creatures to just make this survive, period, yeah? Okay, it looks like that's what they want to do. They should just sacrifice this one, really. They managed to kill that before the other one, so they didn't trigger it. It's kind of smart. Okay, let's see. That's going to come in tapped. Let's get rid of their Vampiric Rites while they're tapped out. That way they can't make my removal spells fizzle and get extra value out of losing these things. Okay. Come out now. We save the Snakeskin Veil in case they have removal. 5 lands. I think I gotta get rid of the Dragon Master Outcast no matter what. in that exile so I don't get my demon back. So that's kind of handy. And they get it back? This is so gross. Alright, we're bringing this down. We're fighting this so they don't get 6 lands. So I don't have to put up with a 5/5 flying dragon every single turn. Because there was land 6, that was going to do it. And I think I've got to make the trade here for my life total. That was fun. The one time I'm tapped out, so they could remove it if I can't play my Snakeskin Veil right this second. Gross. Made me sacrifice. Let's get rid of you now. Bring down another Infernal Vessel. They better have ways to stop exiling me and stop making me sacrifice stuff. The Infernal Vessels are not lasting as long as I've been expecting them to. Just an extra land they don't need. Perfect time to start digging through the rest of their deck. They still have 58. And now, isn't that kind of interesting? Hello. Just when they drew an artifact, they use it to draw it has artifact synergy. And I need to get rid of that goblin. They can make a creature unblockable every single turn. I don't see why you need to use Snakeskin Veil on this. He's going to come back as a 4/3, so that's better. Ouch. I'm going to take 3 damage, actually. Gain 1 life back. Pass the turn. We're going to use our creatures now for our Restless Cottages. Come on. Okay, they get the goblin. They get 2 goblins because they got 2 of these now. Gross. Oh, they could make Lava Tongue unblockable. But they didn't. Okay. Okay, I think we go ahead and we get rid of Lava Tongue. And let's block this here. And then we can use the extra counter here to make it survive. Down to 3. There's a life gainer. And I don't have enough land now. Shoot, I'm missing 1 land. If they don't sacrifice anything and they just bum rush me. Actually, I think they could afford to sacrifice 2 because these all have haste, right? Yeah, max speed. Let's see. Well, where's the haste coming from right now? Did I miss something? Oh yeah, the goblins have haste right there. They're still, because they can get 2 goblins each time. Alright. So they lose 1 here. Okay, so I'm still not dead quite yet. They're doing 3 damage. I gained 2 life. And another one that I absolutely have to get rid of. This will give me 2 more life points. And now I can afford to put up my Restless Cottage. The problem is they can just wait, right? They just create a goblin token every single turn. I can't afford to wait. They can, if they want to. And they're gonna bother waiting. Alright, we get 3 blockers. I don't actually need 3 blockers because this one can't be blocked. So we're just getting rid of this, and I actually gain 0 points of life after we're done. Back up to 4. The Restless Cottage was worthless. Ah! Shoot. Sacrifice a permanent. I think I'm dead. Seriously, Arena? All of the removal cards that I could have had in that deck. This puts me back up to 7. But this was like the perfect card. Forcing me to get rid of an entire creature. I wouldn't have given that up if I were them. If they keep sacrificing one of the goblins, they can make this unblockable. It's going to be a wash each time with Vampire on defense. But it does get them the card draw. Seriously? You drew the 3rd Perforating Artist. Ten cards in the graveyard, they got their 3rd Perforating Artist. And I'm drawing land. This might be the worst deck ever after all. Now, Arena dealt them some good stuff, and we got barely any of our removal cards, and that was what we needed. There's supposed to be a variety, not just deal me land after land after land. And they started on me with 3 lands again here. Discard deck or mill deck? What do you think? Mill deck. Okay. Let's see what they have in the way of removal. That's what I needed. My removal and my broken wings again. So just, they put me up against a mill deck again. Let's go ahead and fight this. Put that in the graveyard. They're going to get a lot of life gain. But I can go ahead and station this now. And we've got a snakeskin veil if we want. I haven't pumped any of these things up yet. No. There goes the second broken wings, which I need to get rid of these. Okay. That's a good card. Let's see if they bother blocking anything. They do not. Okay. Okay, fine. They're actually running out of stuff. I'm glad they did that. They can't get rid of food right now. Let's make them do this. Make a choice. Lose your skull crab. Thank you. I shouldn't have made him do that. I lose the felling blow, which I was going to use against Desperado, so that was my fault. I lost so much good stuff there. And I got a land. Alright. I guess we pass. I need something else. I need something beside land. Because now they can just mill the rest. I'm down to 34 already. Just most of these would have been really good cards to have next. Any one of them, really. There goes the other broken wings. What is it about the deck that I made that encourages me to go up against mill decks when I haven't gone up against mill decks in months? I did have a Deep Mug Desperado card, but of course, just what we don't need, right? Land. And it's not even the creature lands that I could use. I might as well just start swinging in with Infernal Vessel. Oh, I hope you... Yes. 3 lands, good. Oh, thank you. Does he revert back to a cleric? Does he revert back to a human? Ugh. Hang on, let me bring this down again. And they're going to get their Skull Crab back? Or are they going to go get the Fear of Infinity back? Okay, we get that. Let's take action. We'll go ahead and pay the 4. There we go. I should have placed the land down first, technically. But now we see if they bothered with any removal in the deck. We just needed one good card, really. We got what we wanted. I don't think they can mill us fast enough now. But only 15 cards left. And there goes the final Broken Wings. Making sure that I can't get rid of either one of these. I don't know if the server's having trouble connecting or if my computer is suddenly having trouble keeping up with the game. There we go. Oh, it's them. We're waiting for them to decide if they want to sacrifice the food or not. That's a human, so it didn't trigger the preserver. But we attack for 8, and if they want to swing in and attack us, we just chump block with the Infernal Vessel. We're going to lose this just on milling cards. What was that, 9? Okay, if they don't mill us for anything else, we've got 3 more turns. But what are the odds? I mean, everything that they have is associated with milling, basically. Destroy all creatures. Okay. Oops. Okay, so another mill deck. It's interesting that we opened up this particular channel of Arena. Two mill decks out of 4 opponents already. Sometimes you get the feeling that Arena gets mad at you and says, "Why did you create that deck? That's an interesting deck. You can't play that deck. I don't want you to play that deck." Started with 3 lands again instead of 2. And we got 1 Broken Wings in hand. I don't think we have to worry about a mill deck this time. Okay, let's put our Canary in the Coal Mine. The thing we want to die. This is actually another good card if you want to build a sacrifice synergy deck, so you can kill it yourself. Oh, it's just Landfall. Landfall kills us a lot all the time anyway. Let's just put another one in. And we'll just use those as chump blockers. The landfall decks usually have some enchantments, so maybe Broken Wings will just help us out with an enchantment. Wow. We're just going to give up both of them. Look how they got 5 lands already to my 3. And I started with all 3. I needed 1 more. I could have played Snakeskin Veil and killed this thing. Okay, that's tapped. I think we just keep our ammo dry with the Snakeskin Veil. They usually have the spells that deal damage to my creatures. Or Or they could just pump their own creature up, of course. It's the perfect time to get a sacrifice land for the landfall deck. Notice that I'm missing land draws now. After starting so good with land, I'm missing my land draws versus the landfall deck. They're getting all the land that they could possibly ever ask for whenever they need it. Because that's what happens when you're a landfall deck. The normal Jacobo kick will save our card. They didn't pay the kicker, right? So they can still do one other thing. If they had a second one, they could kill the other one and then still run at me. They choose not to. So what are we going to do? I think we're going to do this. So now they know that we'll have something that can run in and smash them in the face if they don't do something about it. Never mind. That's actually not a card you usually see in the landfall decks, so Arena made sure to include somebody who can take out the most powerful creature in my deck. Well, they pump that up and make sure I stay on defense. I'm expecting things to die soon, so let's just do that. Whenever it attacks. So they might have something that can give a trample. So I need to be careful of that. And with that, they still manage to have land as well. I think we bring out this puppy. And we pass the turn. They could have an unflinching courage they put on this, right? So I need to keep 3 open mana for a Broken Wings the next time they decide to attack. And yet more land. I need to keep the Nighthawk against this. So I would need to block with just about everybody here. If they get any more land and pump this up, I'm not going to have much of a choice. That exiles a card from a graveyard. That doesn't really do me much good. I'm going to pass. And just another land, which is what they need right now. They just need one more land for their trample card. I could get rid of their trample with that, actually. And I get another land. I don't really need more land. But that Bushwhack is going to be an excellent card for me. This is like a doubling season. $15, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... Yeah, so I still have enough here. They don't do anything. Interesting. Alright. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna go get some life back. Draw a card. I think I need to draw some stuff. They're out of lands. How about that? Seriously? Okay, let's get rid of 2 points and put them down to 12, 13. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we can flash this in. And let's get rid of this just for laughs. And so 4, 9, 13. And we kind of need to get rid of some of their life total. That's more like it. They've used up 13 lands already, and they get a couple more. How about that? Perfect timing for them. See, landfall decks. You need land, you get it. We want that to die no matter what. If I did this right, I should have exact lethal. Because we're going to do this. And we're going to do... Actually, hang on. 4, 5, 6... 79, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah. We can all attack, right? Yes, we can. Whew. I mean, this would have been fun, too. But this just ends it now. I could get 18 life back. That would be kind of funny. We got a card! Woohoo! Okay, so by my count, we've won 2 and we've lost 3, and 2 of those have been to mill decks that have milled away all of my Broken Wings cards. Which is always what happens to me. Can you believe we beat the Landfall deck? I may have to change the name. I can't really call this the worst deck ever for beating the Landfall decks. 4 lands. Why am I getting all this land all the time? After the last 3 months, I get land starved. And for some reason I make this deck, and they keep giving me 3 and 4 lands in the initial deal? What is going on? Hello, blue thingy. My snakeskin veil has not been showing up a ton. I don't edit these, just so you know. Let's power up the station. Don't kill it. They've got the equivalent. They've got the equivalent of Broken Wings. Okay. This won't stop them. But they can't kill it with their spider food either. Bedrock Tortoise. So that'll become a 6/6 right when it attacks. What can I do against that? Right now, nothing. Oh, you know what I could do? We're gonna fight you. And then we're gonna fight you again. Oh, that was lovely. And swing in for an attack. And draw another card, because I had to use 2 there. Beginning of your upkeep, return with power 2 or less. Gross! They could get back the Bedrock Tortoise. That is an awesome combination, by the way. I love that. I've got to steal that at some point. For now, thank you for giving me Broken Wings. It was definitely needed, and now I have a Snakeskin Veil that I can power up. So now, the deck is coasting where I want it to be. This can't get past the Taurus. Let's put down a Demolition Field, and we've got a Snakeskin Veil if we need it. Do I just have to use the Nighthawk? Oh, hello. If they have 3 more of these, they can just get both of their Bedrock Tauruses back. I was counting on those to get my Galta out. Look at that. They got exactly what they needed. They used their board wipe to clear the field, and now they can repopulate. It's going to take me 5 more turns to get enough life, or get enough energy to summon Galta. They got me. I'm dead next turn. There's the Broken Wings. I can't do anything about it. They've got lethal already. You expect to see Pride of Hold played in these type of decks. But, man. Spider Food, Smile at Death Day, Judgment. If they chunked 4 cards, 4 copies of each card, I'm going to give them a nice 2. I like that deck construction. Of course, we got... we're 1 card draw behind being able to stop them from bringing that back. Bad timing. Only 2 wins and 4 defeats. It's a 33% win ratio. Okay, so even though we beat a landfall deck, okay, it still might be like worst deck ever after all. We'll do one last one. I have no idea if we'll win or lose. It's a landfall deck again? Oh, I'm so bored with landfall. You're so boring. I think we're meant to lose this one. Because, of course, they get 2 landfall creatures and they get their sacrificed land by turn 2. So, what can you do? All you need is something that gives them trample or the deal damage card, and you got me beat. I can't even put out a creature yet on my turn 2. Of course they have a land. Opponent's not going to miss a land drop. Whew. Perfect timing for that card. It's got affinity, so they got it down for 3. What can I do here? These all come in tapped. That's just their perfect opening hand. They didn't even... They actually missed a land drop in all of that. And they've got me... They had me dead 3 times over already. And look at that. 17 damage to the creature. Because just dealing me regular lethal damage wasn't enough. And they get their additional land drop. Thank you, Arena. Thank you for yet another perfect curve landfall deck. Oh, so boring. Hang on, I gotta do one more. This is probably gonna be the video that has the most losses I've ever recorded in my life. My opponent is Wayne E. That reminds me, welcome to my new subscribers. Hey, look, Arena made sure we won one because we've lost so many in a row. It had to give me one. Hang on with me. I know I keep deciding I want to end the video because I think I've hit over an hour already, and I usually stop it, but I can't end on a free win like that. I want a match. Something besides boring landfall. I'll even take another mill deck if you want. That's 2 landfall decks already. Okay, this is different at least, right? And they only started me with 2 lands. I might have to use Bushwhack to go find my 3rd land. Oh, never mind. Okay, what do we got going on here? Equipped creature gets +3/+1. They can pay to equip it for 4. If a non-land permanent left, you get to attach it. And they've got 3 of them already? Do I bother getting rid of one of those? Never mind, I can get rid of all 3 at once. Attached to a creature. So they can't warp a creature in. I mean, they could if they had a second creature to attach it to. They have no way to save that, right? This is a sorcery. Okay, let's do this. I think Arena did that again. I think that put me up to the 50% win ratio. I got 4 wins. Did I lose 5 or 4? I lost track. I lost count. Ring of the Lucci. 2 colorless or pay 1 life, tap target non-land permanent. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Let's go bring up the deck again. I need to cut this off. Worst deck ever. Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast. When you design cards like this, include them in decks where you can pay the money for the extra resources to actually give us a demon and a transformed werewolf. Don't be a cheapskate like this ever again, please. That's really irritating. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with you right now. Out of everything that I could be irritated with Wizards of the Coast about, this is the thing that sticks in my craw the most for some reason. If you can do something quality, if you can put out something good, these are okay designed cards. I would say they're well designed cards. You could have had a werewolf art that would have been awesome. You could have had a demon that would have been awesome. And you gave us just this. People spend money on these cards. Come on. Give us the quality that we know you can. Please. So disgusted. I wanted to get Gulta out that one time. Let's hear for my 1 copy of Maelstrom Pulse I have right now. Led to an instant win. I'm not sure what else to say about the deck. Does anybody want to try this deck? Does anybody like this deck? Go ahead and leave me your comments. Give me. Not sure. I mean, if I wasn't playing against Mill and losing all my Broken Wings to Mill, I was kind of enjoying the deck. Actually, weirdly. I mean, like I said, these are well-designed cards, so to play with. And Snakeskin and Vel came in clutch a couple of times to help save something. So I can't be mad at the Snakeskin Vel card. It's a good designed card. I just think they didn't need to reprint it again because we have it so many times already. Anyway, I think I've said all that before, so I'm just going to say goodnight. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good one.